Hi everyone, welcome back to Pilates with LJ video. We are going to obviously do some lovely Pilates. The first bit we're going to do quite a lot of arms and stuff, so if you want to then get yourself some tin cans or some small light weights that you can do, and that will just add a little bit to it and give yourself a bit more of a challenge. But yeah, you don't need them, but if you want to give yourself more of a challenge, go for it. So, to begin with, we're going to start in a nice seated position. You can have your legs out in front of you, or you can have your legs crossed, whatever feels more comfortable. And I'm going to have my legs in this nice frog position. We're just going to sit up on our sit bones and just lengthen through the spine. So lift yourself up, lengthen through the crown of your head. And we're just going to do a couple of breaths here. So we're going to inhale through our nose and then exhale through our mouth. And as we do that, I just want us to be aware and pull that belly button in towards the spine. So wrapping that waist and all those muscles around, drawing that belly button in towards the spine as you exhale. As you inhale, I want you to just fill the backs and the sides of the lungs. Bring the ribs out to the side rather than lifting the chest and the shoulders. Just keep those shoulders down, keep the chest down, bring those ribs out to the side. So let's just do one last breath here. So inhale. And exhale. Nice. Okay, now from here we're going to go into spine twist. So we're just going to bring our hands together, place them in front of our chest, bring those elbows up, and we're just going to exhale and twist round. As you twist round, it's only your waist that's twisting. Your hips and your sit bones are staying really still. They're not moving at all. So it's only your upper body that's twisting. Inhale back to center and then twist round. So imagine you've got a pane of glass in front of you and behind you. So your upper body is just moving as one. Each time just try and twist a little further, keeping those shoulders down. Exhaling as you twist round. Inhale back to center. One last time. Exhale, twist round. Try and twist a little further. Inhale back to center. Nice. Now from there we're going to place our hands on our legs in front of us. And we're going to go into spine stretch. So we're just going to inhale, prepare, keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. And then we're going to exhale and we're just going to lengthen through the spine. So reaching those arms forward, trying to get a nice stretch down the back of the spine. Inhale, come back up to seated. So exhale, really pulling that belly button in towards the spine, getting a nice stretch through the spine as well. Exhale. Inhale back up. One last time. Exhale, reaching forwards, drawing that belly button in towards the spine. And then inhale, bring yourself back up. Now, if you do have weights or cans, this is where you want to grab them. I'm going to keep my legs where they are. We're just going to take our arms out to the side and we're just going to start doing some nice small circles. So we're up on our sit bones, or lengthening our spine up all the way through the crown of our head. Keeping those shoulders nice and relaxed. They're not creeping up towards our ears. And we're just doing nice small circles. Our arms are nice and strong. They're not floppy. All the muscles are engaged. And you're just squeezing those shoulder blades together ever so slightly. Not too much, but just slightly. And we're just going to change direction. So just checking in, still. Sitting nice and tall, lengthening through the crown of the head. Keep that breathing going. Don't hold your breath. And we're just going to go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those arms down. From here, we're going to take our arms out in front. If you have your hand weights, then keep them here. And we're going to reach our hands forward, separating those shoulder blades, keeping those shoulders down, and then pulling those arms back. So squeezing those shoulder blades together, opening across the chest, reaching forwards, separating those shoulder blades, and then pulling back. Keeping those arms nice and strong, nice and straight. Don't allow them to collapse. Reaching forwards, and then pulling back. Reaching forwards again, and pulling back. Let's do another couple here. Reaching forwards, and then pulling back. One last time, keeping those arms nice and straight. Check in with those shoulders, make sure they haven't crept up towards your ears, and then pull back. Nice. Now from here, we're going to bring our hands out in front. We're going to bring our index fingers together and our thumbs together. Elbows are going to be nice and wide, they're going to be nice and lifted as well. We're going to reach our arms up above us, and then we're going to take the hands down behind our head, keeping those elbows nice and wide, not allowing the elbows to come in, and keeping those shoulders down. Just gently pressing the index fingers and the thumbs together, lifting and lowering. So again, your back is still nice and straight, nice and tall, lifting through the crown of the head. Squeezing those fingers together, keeping those elbows nice and wide, and not allowing those shoulders to creep up towards your ears. And we've got another 3, 2, and one last one. 1. Okay, now from here we're going to take our hands, just our fingertips are going to just be touching slightly. Squeeze those shoulder blades together behind you, and then lengthen those arms out to the side. Bring them back in, and then lengthen. Good. If you have those arm weights, keep hold of them still. Keep going. Don't allow those elbows to drop down. Keep those elbows nice and lifted. And let's go for another 4, 3, keeping this back nice and tall, shoulders down, not creeping up to the ears. One last one. Reach out, back in, and then bring your arms down. Give them a nice little shake. Okay, and from here we're going to go down onto the mat. Bring our feet hip width apart. Just make sure they don't fall off my mat. Okay, so we're now in our nice relaxation pose. Our feet are flat on the mat, hip width apart, and our thighs are heavy in our hips. Our pelvis is in a nice neutral spine, neutral position. If you want to, just do a couple of pelvic tilts. Just warm that up ever so slightly. And then bring yourself to the middle. Imagine you've got a bowl there full of water and you don't want to spill it. So keep that nice and level. And then we're coming up to our ribs. Make sure those ribs are nice and heavy into the back of the mat. Arms down by your side. Shoulders nice and wide, down away from your ears, and your eyes are heavy in the back of your head. Inhale, and then as we exhale, we're just going to float one leg up into tabletop. Inhale again, and then exhale, float the other leg up into tabletop. Scoop through that belly, keep it nice and scooped, and then we're just going to lower and lift our legs. Just doing our nice toe taps, tapping the mat, and then lifting back up again. Keeping that belly scooped. Hinging at the hips, making sure we're not just bending at the knee. Lots to think about, but keep going. 4, 3, 2, and one last one. Nice. Just pull those knees in towards the chest. Give them a little circle. Float one leg back up into tabletop, then float the other leg back up into tabletop. Scoop that belly, and then from there we're just going to extend the leg and then bring it back in. We're just slowly warming up these abs, making sure we are aware of what's going on, feeling the movement so we're not rushing through it. Doing it nice and slowly. And if we're extending our leg and we can feel our back coming away from the mat, then don't extend the leg quite so far. Keeping that belly nice and scooped throughout. 4, 3, 2, and one last one. 1. Now from here, keeping those legs into tabletop, we're just going to extend one leg out and then we're going to just lift and lower that leg. So we're scooping through the belly. This other leg that isn't moving, staying really still. And we're going to go for another 3, 2, and one last one. Good. Bring that leg back in and then change legs. Extend the other leg away, scoop through that belly, and then lift and lower. The whole leg all the muscles should be engaged in this leg, working away. This other leg staying really still. And we're still scooping through that belly. We've got 2 more. 1 and 2. Good. Bring that leg back to tabletop. Draw those knees in towards the chest and give them a good circle. Have a nice breather. Take a couple of big deep breaths. Make sure everything feels okay. Now from here, we're going to take our legs straight up into the air, and we're just going to flutter those legs. So we've got our belly nice and scooped, our arms are nice and long, down by our sides, and we're just going to flutter the legs, one in front of the other, trying to keep those legs as long as possible. And we're going to go for another 4, 3, 2, and one last one. Bring those legs together. We're going to take them wide and then bring them back. Take them wide and bring them back. We're scooping through that belly. And we're going to go for 3, 2, and one last one. Nice. Draw those knees in. Give them a little circle. Just check in, make sure everything feels okay. Good. Now from here, we are going to go into our nice single leg stretch. So we're going to curl ourselves up, drawing our ribs to our hips. We're going to extend one leg out, keep the other leg bent, and we're going to try and reach our nose to our knee. So we're not pulling our knee to our nose, we're pulling our nose to our knee. Good. Keeping those legs nice and long, scooping through that belly, and not allowing the upper body to twist as you swap legs. Keep those elbows up. And we're going to go for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Hug those knees in towards the chest. Give them a circle. Now from here, we're going to come over onto our side. We're just going to roll over, prop ourselves up on our elbow. We're going to have our legs nice and long. Our legs are going to be on top of each other and our hips are going to be stacked. And then we are lifting through our waist. We're lifting up our waist throughout the exercise. Our hands are going to be in front to help with our balance. But if you do struggle with your balance, just bring your legs forward slightly and that will really help. And then from here, we're just going to lift and lower the legs. So we're lifting and lowering, pointing the toes as we lift and flexing the foot as we lower. And we're going to go for another 4, 3, 2, and one last one. Nice. From there, keeping that leg up in line with the hip, making sure those hips are nice and stacked. We're going to point those toes and we're going to take the leg forwards, flex and then take it back. At this point, you're going to really challenge your balance, so make sure your core's really engaged. Take the leg forwards and then take it back. Good. Let's go for another 3, 2, and one last one. Forward and then back. Bring those legs together, bend those knees up, have the feet in line with your bum, and then from here, we're just going to open and close that top leg. Make sure that your hip isn't opening as you lift that leg, otherwise it won't work the muscles that we want. So keeping those hips nice and stacked, squeezing those heels together, and we're going to go for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now from here, raise those feet up, squeezing those heels together again. We're going to open and then we're going to extend the leg back together and close. Extend and then close. Nice. Now we've got 3, 2, and one last one. Good. Now from here, we're just going to push ourselves up onto our elbow. Our elbow is going to come under our shoulder. Our knees are going to be together, and we're going to push ourselves up into a side plank. We're just going to hold this here. We're really lifting up through the waist. We're really pushing the mat away with our elbow. And we're just going to hold here for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring yourself down, and then this time we're going to just add a progression if you want to. If you don't want to, just stick with what we've just done. Inhale, prepare, and then as you exhale, lift yourself up, extend that leg, and we're just going to lift and lower that leg, really lifting through the waist, lengthening through the leg. We're going to go for another 3, 2, and 1. Nice, good job. Okay, we're going to change sides. Okay, coming down onto the mat. Again, our legs are nice and straight and on top of each other. Our hips are stacked. We're lifting up through the waist, and we're not just collapsing into our hand. So we are lifting all the way up as well. Hand in front to help with your balance. And if you do struggle, just bring those legs forward ever so slightly, but keeping them straight and on top of each other. So just to begin with, lifting and lowering, pointing those toes as you lift, flexing as you lower. Excuse my cracky toes. And let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now from here, pointing those toes, we're going to take the leg forward and then take it back. Take the leg forward and back. Lifting through that waist, using that core to help with your balance here. Good. As you flex that foot, really push through the heel of the foot. And we're going to go for 3, 2, and 1 last one. Nice. Bring those legs back together. Bend those knees, bring the feet in line with the bum, and we're just going to go into clown. So keeping these hips nice and stacked, and we're going to just open and close the knee. Good. And we've got another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now from here we're going to lift the feet up, squeezing those heels together. We're going to open and extend, really pointing those toes if you can when you extend the leg. Keeping these hips nice and stacked and lifting up through the waist. 2, and 1 last one. Nice. Now from here we're going to come up onto our elbow. We're going to bring those knees in line. Make sure that elbow's under the shoulders, and we're going to push ourselves up into that side plank. Really lifting up through the waist, keeping that body nice and straight. And we're just going to hold here for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring yourself down. Now from here, if you don't want to do the progression, struggling to get my words out. If you don't want to do the progression, then just do what we've just done. If you want to do the progression, then inhale, prepare, and then exhale, bring yourself up, lengthen that leg, and we're just going to lift and lower it, keeping that leg nice and long, those hips lifted, and we're going to go for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Bring yourself down. Now, from here, we're just going to go into rolling like a ball. So, bring yourself down to one end of your mat, bring your feet together, lift yourself up and hug your knees in towards your chest. From here, we're going to tuck that tailbone under, really curve through the spine and roll back. Scoop through the belly and bring yourself back up to that seated position. Really curving through the spine and trying to make the roll as smooth as possible. And trying not to roll back onto your head or slam your feet back down as you come back upright. Let's just do 2 more. So really scooping through that belly. 1 last time. Ooh, struggled to get up then. Cool. And that's you done on those. Okay, from here, we are going to bring our feet so that they are hip width apart. We're going to be up on our sit bones. We're going to be nice and tall, lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the spine and up through the crown of your head. From here, we're going to have our hands out in front. We're going to tuck that tailbone under, really scoop the belly and curve through the spine. Bring yourself back. Lower your back down to the mat. Bring your shoulders back up in line with the hips, and then sit up nice and tall. So tucking that tailbone under, scooping through the belly, shoulders over hips, sitting up nice and tall. Shoulders over hips, sitting up nice and tall. Good. So trying to get a nice flow movement through this. So you're tucking that tailbone under, curving through the spine, then you're bringing yourself back up and then lengthening through the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. And 2 more. Good. One last one. Tucking that tailbone under, scooping through the belly. Bring those shoulders up in line with the hips and bring yourself back up. Now from here, we are going to just progress this ever so slightly. So we're going to tuck that tailbone under, we're going to bring ourselves down, but then going to twist, reach back behind us, bring those hands back to center, reach back behind us, and then from there, shoulders over hips, sitting up nice and tall. Reaching behind. Getting a good twist through the spine. Nice. Lengthening those arms as much as possible. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's just do one more there. Good. Nice. Now we've got one last little progression in this. We are going to have our arms out in front, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to tuck that tailbone under, we're going to scoop our belly in towards the spine, and then we're just going to raise our arms up above our head, keeping our feet on the mat, and then coming back up. Again, tuck that tailbone under, scoop this belly towards the spine, hold that there, then raise your arms up, hold that there just for a few moments, bring the arms back down, and then sit up nice and tall. One last one. Scooping that belly, take those arms up, lengthen those arms as much as possible, bring those arms back down, and bring yourself back to that starting position. Nice. Now from here, we're going to roll over again. We're going to come into some nice push-ups. So we're just going to have our hands under our shoulders. We're going to be on our knees. We've got a nice long body. Our belly's up towards our spine. And we're going to lower ourselves down to the mat, keeping those elbows really tucked in. Exhale and push yourself back up. Inhale, bring yourself down to the mat. And then exhale, push back up. Good. Let's do 2 more here. 1. And one last one. Nice. Now from here, we're just going to lower ourselves back down into the mat. We are going to just do single legs kick. So we're going to have our hands together in front of us. Our elbows are going to be about shoulder width apart. And our legs are going to be straight behind us. From here, I really want you to tuck that tailbone under, lift up through the front, draw that belly button in towards the spine, and then from there we're going to kick one leg and then straighten it. So flex that foot, try and kick the bum, and then straighten it as you point those toes. Really keeping that belly lifted up off the mat. Good. And we've got another 3, 2, and one last one. Good. Now from here, we're going to lower ourselves down into the mat again, and we're going to progress this on a little bit. So we're going to have our hands together, clasped together behind our back. We're just going to relax into the mat completely. Inhale, prepare, and then exhale, try and kick the bum with both legs, point those toes, stretch, and then open up that chest. Inhale, come back down, try and kick the bum twice, point those toes, lengthen and open up that chest. Bring yourself back down, and again. Good, let's go for another 2. And one last one. Nice. Relax down. Place those hands under your shoulders. Push yourself up. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And then from here, we're just going to go into a nice cat and cow. So tuck that tailbone under, squeezing those glutes, drawing that belly button up towards the spine, bringing that chin towards the chest. And then taking yourself to a nice flat back. And then going the other way. Not forgetting to draw that belly button in towards the spine. And then tucking that tailbone under. And then going back the other way. Good. One last time, tuck that tailbone under, bring that belly button up towards the spine. And then bring yourself to a nice flat back. From there, take the bum towards those heels, reach those hands forwards, and just have a good stretch. Should feel a really nice stretch through the spine and also up through the armpits as well. Really reach those arms forward. Good. Now from here, we're just going to do a couple of quick stretches of the hips, hip flexors and the hamstrings. So take one leg forward, don't fall over, and then lean into that leg. One hand either side of that front foot. Should get a lovely stretch through that back leg. Good. And then from there, take the weight into the back leg, straighten that front leg, point those toes in towards the mat. And then draw those toes up towards the ceiling. Try and reach hold of them. Good. And then from there, we're going to change legs. So, one leg forward, lean into the mat. Hand either side of the front leg. If you want some more, then do bring your elbows down into the mat. If you don't have space for that, then just stay there. And then take the weight into the back leg. Straighten that front leg out. Toes into the mat to begin with. And then pull those toes up towards